Good evening, you're watching AWANI Tonight with me, Farhana Sheikh. With the rise of advanced technologies and artificial intelligence, it is now more crucial than ever to bridge the digital divide for equitable development across society. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim says while Malaysia has made significant strides in building digital infrastructure, more investments is needed to ensure all citizens can thrive in the digital age.
The strategy and the focus and public policy to embark on this massive democratization of access to AI in every village and every urban, including the urban poor and university and schools. If we can succeed in that, inshallah, we're able to resolve that problem. Arigato.
Anwar added that while Malaysia can attract substantial investments in this field, it must focus on keeping its economy competitive, equitable and sustainable. He also emphasized the need to strengthen the AI and data center ecosystem through improved regulations to prevent data leaks and misuse, adding that relevant ministries have been instructed to act swiftly on the matter. Earlier, Anwar met with Karan Bhatia, Google's Global Head of Government Affairs and Public Policy, on the sidelines of the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation APEC CEO Summit 2024. The Police's Commercial Crime Investigation Department has launched a new technical and tactical cyber unit to combat cybercrime. Inspector General Police Tan Sri Razaruddin Hussain says that 17 positions have been filled to start the unit's operations.
According to him, this unit was set up to tackle the increasing complexity of cybercrimes, including the use of AI and deepfake technology. In addition to these structural changes, recent amendments to Section 424 of the Penal Code and Section 116D of the Criminal Procedure Code passed by the Dewan Rakyat will strengthen the enforcement of commercial crime laws. These amendments specifically target offences involving mule accounts and authorise police officers to seize or block transactions related to financial dealings. Razaruddin revealed that from January to September 2024, a total of 24,671 online fraud cases were recorded, amounting to losses of 1.04 billion ringgit.
The Malaysian economy grew by 5.3% in the third quarter of 2024, driven by strong investment activity and continued improvement in exports. The country's gross domestic product GDP expanded by 5.9% in the second quarter of 2024.
Bank Negara, in a statement, said the investment activity was underpinned by strong spending on structures and machinery and equipment, or M&E, as well as sustained growth in household spending, supported by positive labour market conditions. Exports continue to strengthen on the back of recovering external demand and positive spillovers from the global tech upcycle. Imports also grew at a faster pace, following strong demand for capital and intermediate goods to support rising investments and trade. However, growth was partly slowed by maintenance work in the mining sector. The central bank also noted that both headline and core inflation remained steady at 1.9%, unchanged from the previous quarter.
A consortium led by Khazanah National and the Employees Provident Fund, EPF, has made a formal takeover offer for Malaysia Airports Holdings, or MAHB, at 11 ringgit per share, following approval from the relevant regulatory bodies. The consortium, which also includes the Abu Dhabi Investment Authority and Global Infrastructure Partners, has confirmed its intention to acquire all remaining shares in MAHB. This formal offer follows green lights from both domestic and international authorities meeting the preconditions for the takeover. The 11 ringgit offer values MAHB at 18.4 billion ringgit, reflecting a 49.5% premium over its 2023 share price. The offer also comes with a condition: the consortium must acquire at least 90% of MAHB before the deal can close. Currently, the consortium and its affiliates own 41.1% of MAHB, which manages 39 airports across Malaysia, including 5 international airports. The consortium has emphasized that there are no plans for layoffs and the employment rights of existing staff will be safeguarded. The United States drops Malaysia from its currency monitoring list for major trading partners. This comes after the U.S. Treasury Department's November 2024 report reveals Malaysia met just one of the criteria in both the June and November reports.
When a major trading partner meets two of the three criteria under the Trade Facilitation and Trade Enforcement Act of 2015, that partner is added to the watch list. Accordingly, Malaysia, which was previously on the monitoring list, has been removed. Meanwhile, the Treasury Department added South Korea to the list. Other economies on the monitoring list were China, Japan, Taiwan, Singapore, Vietnam and Germany. The semi-annual report looks into countries with large trade surpluses with respect to the US that also actively intervene in foreign exchange markets to gain a competitive advantage.
We'll go for a quick break. Don't go anywhere.
Kerajaan akan terus mempertahankan setiap inci kedaulatan negara dan tidak sesekali akan bertolak ansur terhadap sebarang tuntutan daripada pihak-pihak tertentu.
Negara perlu mengurangkan kebergantungan kepada pekerja asing berkemahiran rendah.
Pertubuhan Kemanusiaan Antarabangsa Malaysia MHO menggesa Kementerian Kesihatan menjalankan siasatan berhubung dakwaan kewujudan sebuah klinik kosmetik yang dikendalikan doktor palsu di Monkiara.
Welcome back. Sri Lanka's President Anura Kumara Disanayake's coalition has won a major victory in a snap general election. His leftist National People's Power coalition has secured a two-thirds majority with 159 seats in the 225-member parliament, one of the biggest in the country's history. NPP secured almost 62% or almost 7 million votes, up from the 42% Dissanayake won in September, indicating that he had drawn more widespread support, including from minorities. Dissanayake, elected just this past September, has campaigned on promises to fight corruption and bring stability to Sri Lanka, which is facing one of its worst economic crises. The leader, also commonly referred to by his initials AKD, is a political outsider in a country long dominated by powerful family dynasties like the Rajapaksas. Before this election, his coalition held only 3 seats in parliament. Now he has the mandate he was seeking to push through major reforms. Explosions rocked Beirut's southern suburbs in the early hours of Friday, amid growing hostilities between Hezbollah and Israeli forces. In a fourth consecutive night of intense strikes, Israel targeted areas controlled by the Iran-backed Hezbollah group. The offensive comes amid growing tensions in the region, with no signs of de-escalation.
In a potentially hopeful turn, the US ambassador to Lebanon on Thursday submitted a draft truce proposal to Lebanon's parliament speaker, Nabih Berri. That's according to senior Lebanese political sources who say it's the first written US effort to halt fighting between Israel and Hezbollah in weeks. Meanwhile, the cost of the conflict is mounting. A World Bank report estimated the damage and economic losses due to the conflict in Lebanon at $8.5 billion. A staggering blow for a nation still suffering the effects of a financial collapse 5 years ago.
In the last 24 hours, U.S. President-elect Donald Trump has announced several more picks for his new administration as he prepares to return to the White House. Some have little experience, while others are so controversial that even fellow Republicans are raising concerns.
One headline-grabbing nomination is vaccine skeptic and former independent presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. as Health Secretary. Known for spreading conspiracy theories about the safety and efficacy of the vaccines, RFK Jr. would oversee a massive agency handling food safety, medical research and welfare programs if the Senate confirms him. Trump is also appointing his personal attorneys, Todd Blanche and Emil Wolf, who represented him in this year's hush money payments trial involving adult film star Stormy Daniels, to serve as Deputy Attorney General. And in perhaps the most contentious move, Trump has nominated Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz for Attorney General. Gaetz, a staunch Trump ally, has been under investigation for allegations of sexual misconduct, drug use, and misusing campaign funds. A senior Republican senator is now joining calls for the findings of that investigation to be made public. It's also worth noting that Gaetz has never worked for the Justice Department or served as a prosecutor at any level.
A new report from the World Health Organization reveals a troubling rise in measles cases worldwide. In 2023, there were an estimated 10.3 million cases, a 20% increase from the previous year. The surge is being driven by a significant lack of vaccine coverage, worsened by the COVID-19 pandemic, which led to millions of children missing routine vaccinations. Nearly 107,500 people died from measles last year, with children under 5 being hit hardest. Measles is a highly contagious virus, marked by a red spotty rash that begins on the face and spreads downward. The disease can lead to severe complications, including pneumonia, encephalitis, and even long-term disabilities like deafness and intellectual impairment. The WHO notes that 57 countries experienced large and disruptive outbreaks in 2023, up from 36 the year before, while vaccination rates remain far below the required levels. Only 83% of children received the first dose of the measles vaccine last year, and just 74% got the second dose, down from pre-pandemic levels. What does the future of learning looks like? Will it address current challenges in the education system? Tonight on It's About Youth, our guests talk about the need for innovation and reshaping the way we teach our students and what they learn.
I almost started a school with no subjects.
Oh, wow.
So it's not 1 hour science, 1 hour maths, 1 hour history, no, none of that. So kids come to school every day and they solve real world problems. So they do project-based learning, problem-based learning. So for example, this river behind the school is very dirty, let's go clean it. They'll learn biology, they'll learn about what sort of germs or microbiology you have in the river, they'll learn math, how to calculate volume, flow rate, they'll learn geography, where does this water come from, they'll learn history, what did other countries last time do in order to keep their rivers clean. They'll learn language because they have to present it in multiple different languages. So they'll do all this, and they'll make all sorts of mistakes, and hopefully the river doesn't become more dirty. But they'll make all sorts of mistakes. But that's where kids learn. And imagine a kid going through 11 years of this. By the time this kid comes out, throw any problem at this kid, she'll be able to solve anything in life.
Meanwhile, Pemimpin GSL Stetian Singh talked about creating an inclusive and diverse education pathways for students.
I think there's a lot of focus, especially about STEM education, being a national mission and all that. But what I would love to see in terms of the future of learning is it doesn't need to be defined by just STEM, and that Malaysia is actually quite set up in terms of the myriad of pathways, right? A student now, after primary school, you can go into vocational school, you can go into sekolah seni, you can go into sports schools and so on, depending on your aptitudes and your interests, right? So what I hope is that these kinds, the diversity in terms of what we define to be success, what we define to be what is meaningful for students to learn, is not just an academic thing in nature, but more encompassing and more more kind as well to people who are not academically inclined, right?
Catch the full conversation on It's About Youth every Friday, 10:30 p.m. only on Astro AWANI. That wraps up AWANI tonight. Do check out our revamped English web portal, delivering in-depth news and analysis to keep you informed on the critical events shaping our world, all in one place at international.astroawani.com. That's all for now. I'm Farhana Sheikh. Thank you for watching and good night.